Right then, this is a quick walk around video for a really lovely looking Honda estate. This is the Civic Tourer diesel and it's the SR version. 15 plate and first of these new facelift models which look absolutely fantastic on the car. So you get this new style front end, finished in white, which is always a favourite on these because the car just looks so good in this colour, really does. It's in lovely condition, so just 48,000 miles, lovely history as well. Front of the car, lights and lenses, obviously clear and intact without any cracks or condensation there. Bottom of the car, very, very clean indeed. Just the odd tiny stone chip. Coming down the near side first, passenger side, and it's mirror smooth in the panel work, absolutely beautiful. Near side front alloy, the one that generally takes all of the bashing. You can only see one tiny little mark in it, so it's done very well indeed. Coming down the panels, again, lovely and clean. Near side rear alloy, again, very, very clean indeed. My favourite angle, it's always been from the back of the Civic Tourers. I just think it's one of the few estate cars that actually looks better in estate than in any other form. It's very, very handsome indeed. Come around the back of the car, again, continues the odd tiny little, sort of stone chippy type thing, but nothing that merits a mention in all honesty. Offside, driver's side, again, beautifully smooth. Offside rear alloy, very good, just a little bit on the outside edge, but nothing really to write home about. Remaining panels, very, very clean indeed. The final alloy, again, very good. As I always say, there will be, as much as I try and pick up on everything I possibly can, there's always going to be the odd minor mark, but they will be minor indeed. It's very, very nice, this car. Coming to the back of the car now, wide opening rear doors. It gives you access into this beautiful black leather interior, which is in very, very nice condition. Let's come into the front on the passenger side. Again, all very clean. Passenger seat literally looks like it's hardly ever been sat on. Finally, driver's door card, again, unmarked really. Footwell areas, again, beautifully clean, full set of original Honda mats. The driver's seat, again, in fantastic condition. Inside the car now, as always, I have the engine running, so the dash can be seen illuminated, and it looks pretty much as new. It's in beautiful condition, and what a fantastic interior. Sat nav, as you can see, working exactly as it should. Just pop the car into reverse, get that lovely clear gridded parking camera. Again, all working exactly as intended. But videos don't really do justice just how nicely kept it has been in here. And then that view of definitely the best dashboard you'll ever sit behind, and that's how you should set your driving position. So the steering wheel is slap bang between the top of the speedo there and the bottom of the speedo and top of the rev counter. And it is absolutely stunning. Then just come across here, oops daisy. Hopefully you can see 48,398 miles, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.6 SR Tourer, or otherwise known as an estate car. The car's registered KC15DXW, and it has a mileage of just 48,382 recorded. The reason we do all of our videos, and especially this part actually, is to ensure that if anyone's online looking at any of our cars, they actually get to see the cars we're advertising in operation. The reason we feel it's important is very simple. It's because we know, like so many people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine and dandy in photographs, only to get there and find out there's a fundamental issue which you'd much rather known about before setting off. So hence that's why we do it. We also do it on these very quiet country roads, very close to our premises, and this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on. So, and the reason or thinking behind it, obviously, is then it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive of the car. So coming to the car, obviously it's been very, very well looked after. I can't remember, it's about 5 services by Honda. We've just done one. So you'd expect it to drive well, and it doesn't disappoint at all. Absolutely superb. Engine starts instantly, settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the car at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. And temperature gauge is running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle. Harvest time, so lots of tractors about at the moment. The engines are simply superb. It's everything you expect of a Honda engine. It's smooth, it's quiet, it's refined, it's reliable, it's long lasting, as they generally are. I mean, they're just superbly made things. But also, I mean, the economy is astonishing, but it's an economy that comes relatively easily to the car, and that's not always the case. You know, you've got the Econ button, which does help, by the way. You know, it does, you know, changes the mapping for the throttle response and various other things as well. So it adds a little bit of economy to the car. But the reality is, I've owned numerous of these and the hatchback versions, and you know, doing the shorter trips, which isn't necessarily good for the car in terms of economy, I'd be about 60 to the gallon. Longer trips easily exceeded 70, so it really is achievable. But it's also a lovely engine to use day in, day out because it's so flexible. Engine then feeds through into the clutch and gearbox in the car. Clutch is absolutely perfect, as you'd expect. It's light and smooth in operation. The bite point's exactly where it's meant to be. Gear change, typical Honda gearbox. It's just brilliant gear change. It's got the wife and daughter in the R1.6 diesel CRV, so I'll put my money where my mouth is. Yeah, the gearbox is just fantastic. It's got a lovely quality of gear change. Honda always make them feel, you know, very mechanical, solid, accurate, precise. It's just, and it adds to the driving pleasure rather than detract, which so many gearboxes seem to do, unfortunately. And that feels exactly like it would have done when it was new, because I can't find anywhere in it at all. But that is common with them, because they're just, you know, they're robust. They really are. Coming on to the steering and the chassis, one of my favourite parts of the car, actually. The steering is really nicely done. It's quick, it's lively, it's responsive, it's keen, it's accurate, it's precise, it's beautifully weighted, and it flows to the chassis. It's simple as that. And it also tracks dead straight with no vibrations, I'm just going to zip past this car a second. Yeah, no sort of wobble at speed either, so all in very, very fine order. The chassis itself, again, it's all part of it, because, you know, the fact that it's got a really comfortable ride, beautifully damped, belies the fact that actually it eats up corners. It is very accomplished. You turn in, minimal body roll, there's a keenness to the chassis which matches the steering of the car, and it all kind of works together beautifully as one. It really is nicely done. And again, no rattles, no clonks coming back through the car at all, so all in very, very fine order there. This version of the car, by the way, you've got a little button down here. You can change the rear damper settings, the rear suspension settings. You get 3 that you can do. It generally defaults into what they call normal mode, which is basically obviously a kind of halfway house between what's I think is called dynamic and then comfort. If I press the button there, it puts me into comfort mode, and it does feel noticeably softer. And being someone that suffers a bad back, and this section of the road's horrible, and it just eats it up. It just don't really feel bumps necessarily. If you press it again, go into dynamic mode, and it definitely feels stiffer, you know. So I mean, it has its merits, it works, it's really nicely done, actually. Just going to give the brakes a bit of a shove, make sure no one's directly behind me when I do this. So, yeah, really nice brake pedal on the car. It's powerful, there's no pulsing, no vibrations coming back through the pedal at all. It's all in fine, fine order indeed. Finally, coming inside the car, the car's literally just arrived to us, not been cleaned yet, but it is in beautiful condition in here. Really, really is. But one thing again, which I will say, means videos can't, you know, give you that impression at all, is the build quality of these things. They are brilliantly put together cars. They're so solid. rattle free, squeak free. You know, they are built very robustly indeed. It's also, and this is very much opinion based of course, I just think that the best dash design anywhere in its class. It's absolutely fantastic. But more the fact that it actually works, is there to work with you. It's not just to look pretty. You've got the most conventional part, this centre section here with the sat-nav working perfectly, dual zone air conditioning system which is pumping out absolutely ice cold air, by the way, so working exactly as it should. Likewise, heated seats all working perfectly well as well. Then you've got this fantastic two-tier design directly in front of me, which basically gives you you know, an upper display which is designed actually for safety. So, and it works. It's genius, because if I change things like radio or my fan speed there, you've got a small display down here, but you've got a much bigger display up on the dash, so you're not having to look down to the bowels of the car to take that information in. But the information everyone looks at most commonly, of course, is your speed, and basically that is superb. You've got this huge digital display all by itself, so I can look at the cars coming, pedestrians on the road, but also, corner of my eye, I can see the speed clearly. It is sensational. Well, I said, I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And then you've got these more conventional dials, rev counter mounted in the middle, flanked by the temperature and fuel gauges. Steering wheel feels like new to hold, lovely leather bound, sporty feel to it. But the car is lovely. It's absolutely lovely. I've sold hundreds of these things over the years, and I can't fault the driver of this at all. It drives without issue, and as close to new as you could ever expect a used car to drive. It's just as tight as a drum.